it has to work within the system that allows these bowls, these cities to continue to make the money. If there's no solution to that and people start losing money, it's not going to happen.
No,
you can just forget about it because it's not going to happen.
Economically, these cities that the bowl games are in, they generate so much that if you take that away, some of these cities, some can't do away with it.
Right.
They need it for their economy.
Absolutely.
And I think when it comes to keeping those bowl games and traditions, like you said, you need that there, and in order to come up with a certain system that can be successful, you have to keep some of these games, if not most of them, to keep it in there and let people enjoy their traditions.
Yeah,
and
the traditions,
so forth.
and I think that's what a lot of it has to do with. Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of
Yeah,
as they call them, the Pac-10, the Big Ten. That's been going at it for years. There'll be some very angry people if all of a sudden the Rose Bowl is not happening, or the Rose Bowl is happening, but it's happening between a Boise State and a West Virginia. That's not your usual Rose Bowl matchup. But that's enough about that. We'll discuss this more once we find out what the BCS has come up with, if they've come up with a solution for that. But let's look ahead to 2012 real quick as we get closer to wrapping up our show. Mark Schlabach, a writer for ESPN, revealed his top 25 the other day. And some people maybe agreed with it, maybe some people didn't. LSU gets beat 21-0 in New Orleans Monday night. They start off #1 in the country. Looking ahead to 2012, remember. USC at 2, Alabama at 3. Right now, with what we know about players coming back, you agree with that top 3?
With the way Alabama and Nick Saban have been able to produce year in and year out and stay at the top of the SEC West, I agree. Maybe not 3, but still in the top 5, and I guess you'll see where they stand, come next year. But the top 5 ranking to me is fair for them.
I like that. I think them being in the top 5, you have to include them. Anytime Nick Saban is coaching, you've got to put him in the top 5. The man, look, we don't like him down here, but you can't argue with his success. 3 national championships between 2 different schools, continues to put up one of the best recruiting classes each year. You got to give credit where credit is due. And yes, they may lose Trent Richardson, but Eddie Lacy right behind him. That kid is the next Trent Richardson, maybe, And A.J. McCarron, we talked about him earlier in the show, had a great national championship game. If that's the future for Alabama, if that's what they can look forward to, I'll tell you what, that's going to be a team to watch out for the coming next few years. And so we'll see how he does. So, talking about next season, though, we just spoke about what Alabama has coming back. Of course, they're losing a lot of guys, especially a lot of defensive guys, and I think that's why a lot of people maybe aren't giving them the early respect that maybe they deserve. But let's look ahead to the schedule next year for Alabama. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it is the schedule that LSU had this season, but starting off in Dallas against Michigan, a team that I'm not sure how many people saw that coming. Brady Hoke in his first season over there,
BCS.
getting them to the Sugar Bowl, winning the Sugar Bowl. Some controversy in that game I'm aware of, but Michigan looks like they could be coming back, and so this first game of the season maybe has BCS national title implications on it, as did the LSU-Oregon game in Week 1 of this past season. So, talk about the schedule a little bit and what they need to watch out for.
I really think, Michigan's going to be somebody to watch out for, and at the same time, they really need the Big Ten really needs a win after their horrific bowl season. And
Michigan and Michigan State right now carrying the Big Ten on their shoulders.
And with Michigan winning the BCS game, they're going to be favored to win that Big Ten, and like you said, that's going to have BCS title implications in that game. They follow that up with Western Kentucky. That's not going to be too tough.
We think.
Now,
LSU came out a little sluggish against Western Kentucky this year.
And that was after Alabama.
And that was after Alabama. So, but coming off a big game against Michigan, so you start to wonder. But I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine.
Although they did a great turnaround job over there, Western Kentucky.
Yeah. And then after that, they go to Arkansas, which That's going to be a good game.
It's a good game, but the last couple of years, I'll tell you, talking about that Arkansas game, everyone says, "Oh, this is a great game. This is going to be a great game."
Mm-hmm.
And back-to-back years, we've had 2 blowouts.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama. Well, of course, now Arkansas last season did jump up on Alabama early, but then they just blew it. Yeah. And so, we'll see about that. I just don't know if Arkansas can be taken as serious in the West right now. They can't beat LSU or Alabama. Of course, they beat LSU last season, I'm aware of, but we'll have to see if they can Arkansas get over that hump and get those 2 wins to maybe win the West for once.
And then they continue SEC play on the 29th of September against Ole Miss, and we'll see how that goes. See where Ole Miss will be next year after losing their coach Houston Nutt.
Yeah, that's maybe a topic for another conversation.
Yeah.
Another show. That in itself is just absolutely nuts.
Then they add on Missouri, the new SEC add-on in the East.
SEC East team,
and they go to Columbia.
Yeah, and that's interesting. And LSU goes to Texas A&M. They have to go to College Station. So that in itself maybe is another topic as well. But I mean, you look at what Missouri and Texas A&M did in their bowl games. They're winning, so they're trying to bring that into the SEC. To try to keep up with the SEC and their winning tradition. I just don't know if Missouri, and Texas A&M for that matter, is ready for the daunting schedule of the SEC that awaits them. I don't think they quite understand what it's like to have to play in Alabama, turn around and play a Florida or an LSU.
Well, yeah, that's another topic too. It's just you say the schedule. You play these teams week in and week out. I think for instance, Missouri and A&M are going to have a few rough years before they have any success.
Yeah, I think so as well.
For these coming years, but they're definitely good add-ons.
Yeah.
Then they have Tennessee, Mississippi State, and then the November 3rd matchup with LSU.
Game. Shall we already start talking about it? Mark your calendars, folks. It was November 5th last season, then it was January 9th, now November 3rd. And as an LSU fan, I'll say this. We're not going to consider that game a revenge chase.
No.
We're going to consider that restoring the order, my friend. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, a little shout-out to Barrett Jones, offensive lineman over at Alabama. But, and something about that November 3rd game, and I'm sure we will spend the next few months talking about this, breaking down every angle of this game. LSU has a bye week the previous week before that, again, for the 3rd straight season in a row. Alabama kind of has a problem with that.
Not this year.
Not Alabama, though. Alabama has Mississippi State at home. Okay, Mississippi State's kind of been, whatever. But it's someone that you have to play, chance of injury. And Mississippi State played both LSU and Alabama really close this past season.
Yeah, they did.
And so with, Alabama losing guys on defense and offense, you wonder if maybe Mississippi State is a game that they've got to watch out for, because we know they're going to be ready to come to Baton Rouge and play LSU. So is that Mississippi State a possible upset game for Alabama?
It could be, but the way things have been gone with Mississippi State, late in the season rather, they haven't been too strong as of late. But we'll get more into that later. Then after LSU, they have A&M at Bryant-Denny. And then they have Western Carolina, and then they, of course, finish the season off at Auburn.
Yeah, with the Iron Bowl, and so those are all interesting games. And like I said, we will break down almost every angle of that game. We'll run out of time here today, though. So speaking of looking ahead at 2012, let me get some predictions for you. First off, we're mainly an SEC show, so start off with who wins the West, who wins the East, who meets in Atlanta for the SEC championship game.
For the East, I think I'm going to go with South Carolina. Steve Spurrier's been putting up a strong team the last couple of years, and I don't know where Florida's offense is going to stand with the changes to offensive coordinator now, or where they'll be at. Georgia could surprise a bunch of people again with a strong finish.
I think Aaron Murray and what they're doing over there, that's a team that maybe you want to watch out for. But you're going South Carolina from the East.
Yeah.
Who do you like in the West?
Do you have a quarter? Because I'm going to flip.
Oh, man.
Again, this year, of course, being biased, you would say LSU. But
of
again,
course.
I think it's going to be another coin toss. Maybe in favor of LSU, not bias-wise, but because of you look at the situations with starters and in that case. But again, to me it's going to be a toss-up. But right now I'm going with LSU. So.
Okay, going with LSU. So there's no chance, in your opinion, that we're going to have an A&M Missouri SEC championship.
Not this year. No, not anytime soon. Yeah,
I would agree with LSU from the West. I think the quarterback thing has been a problem the last 4 years, but they're a defensive team.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they're going to lose Brandon Taylor. They lose Morris Claiborne. Going to lose Ryan Baker. A couple defensive linemen. They're going to lose some people. But when you think about Anthony the Freak Johnson, who's ready to come in right behind him,
defensive line,
that defense is going to be okay. And as long as John Chavis is there, I don't think you ever have to worry about that.
No.
And I would be willing to say the offense is going to get better this year. You're going to have quarterback Zach Mettenberger, got the young kid, the recruit Gunnar Kill. We'll see if he gets any playing time. All of 4 of the running backs coming back for LSU though, and I think that should scare a lot of people. But I like LSU out of the West, and I'm going to go with Georgia out of the East. I think they impressed me this year. Aaron Murray had a great season. I think he's only going to get better over time. At the end of the SEC championship game, I saw an interview with him. He says put Georgia in talks of national championship. I don't know if I'd go as far as take them that serious right now.
Not yet. Yeah.
Maybe not yet, but I do think they're the best team in the East. Connor Shaw out of South Carolina did play well. Steve Spurrier, always someone you need to worry about.
He has a ton of upside.
Absolutely. But I'm going to go LSU, Georgia once again in Atlanta, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So who you got winning the game? And, well, maybe not get to that so far, but who's in your national championship?
Right now, I think may surprise a lot of people, but I'm going to go with a team from the West, and I'm going to go with the Pac-12 winner, and I'm going to say USC is going to surprise a bunch of people and actually get in the title game.
That is definitely
and of course, whoever wins the SEC is going to go to the national championship, I think, again this year.
7th straight year in a row. Very good possibility. Yeah, but those are definitely some good picks, and I think USC maybe deserve some credit. Matt Barkley returning is definitely something you got to watch out for. That team's going to be good again. But I don't know. The Pac-12 is always so just someone ends up getting upset, and in my opinion, I still think Oregon's the best team in the Pac-10.
Yeah,
I know they're losing LaMichael James, but they've got great speed guys all around. Kenyon Barner, I think is his name. And so, he's coming back, and I think Oregon's still the team to beat out of the Pac-12, but I'm not going with the Pac-12 team. I like the SEC champion to come out and obviously take, a spot in Miami, whoever that is. Bias, I'll say LSU. And I'm thinking the Big Ten has a statement to make this year. Okay.
Good point.
Alabama gets Michigan in week 1, right? I think the SEC champion gets Michigan in the title game.
Yeah.
I think Michigan runs the table. I think Michigan upsets Alabama in week 1. This is me talking right now.
Yeah.
We'll have plenty of time to discuss this. But I like Michigan and the SEC champion battling out in South Florida.
That's definitely a good prediction.
We got to see what'll make. But Brady Hoke, what he did in his first year, you give him an off season, they're back. Recruiting's going to be back up. I think Michigan really has a chance to surprise some people. So we'll see what goes on there. All right, Chase. Well, that pretty much wraps up today's show.
Good first show.
Good first show. Had a lot of discussions, and we'll have plenty more to come. Just keep checking us out, and check us out on Facebook if you're not already a fan of the page. Our page name is LSU Tigers Mission Miami 2012. Check us out. Like the page. Go there for constant. We're constantly going to be posting new shows. Once again, that's LSU Tigers Mission Miami 2012. And we're going to be constantly posting these new shows plus other things that may catch our eye. So become a fan of us on Facebook and always check back in.
Yeah, in the near future, we're also going to have a Twitter account, so you'll be able to follow us there too. So
follow us on Twitter, Facebook. We're college kids. We get the social media thing.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for listening to the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.